Welcome to another edition of our weekly Wednesday Lunch and Learn. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time, I get the fortunate opportunity to get to interview some of the top agents all across the country to learn about how they got into the market, but also how the local market is doing at this stage. So today, I'm delighted to have an ARIA colleague, Tim, join me from the Georgia market. So Tim, please tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the real estate business?
Sure. Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Tim Herr. I am in the Metro Atlanta market here in Georgia. Been in real estate for about 13 years. Been a licensed broker for about 10 of that, and I run a small team here along with owning my own small boutique firm here in Atlanta. I got started in real estate actually after college. I didn't want to go into engineering. I went to Georgia Tech. I wanted to take some time off, but my parents were like, "Hey, go into real estate. Go get your license. We don't want to pay commissions, and there's probably some good opportunities out there." So, long story short, made a career out of it, and 13 years later, here I am, still trucking along. So it's fun times.
That is awesome. And so walk us through like maybe the beginning, since it seems like your parents were really supportive of you getting into the business. Maybe it's saving some costs as well. But walk us through that first year. Like, how many did you end up doing? And was it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
Yeah, I think I was pretty fortunate because I got in right before the market tanked, right? So I had a little bit of funds saved up. I can't remember what my production was, but I definitely had a lot of support just around me. I was very fortunate to have really good mentors just kind of help me through the process. And being bilingual at the time and being able to kind of service two different demographics. A lot of people took a chance on me when I was younger, and it was fun. I had a good time, and um, you know, everyone's complaining about the rates going up 3% and stuff like that. But I started real estate when it was like 7, 8, 9%, right? So it's great to be a part of something, to see it evolve over the years, and definitely has changed.
That is awesome. And tell us a little bit right now, what is going on in your local market? I know
Mm.
across the country has been, I think, very busy, and I imagine Atlanta is doing very well. Why don't you share with us, if you know the data off the top of your head, like what kind of things have happened in terms of inventory, in terms of prices, and do you see anything that's negative in the local metro?
Yeah, so we were kind of faced with the same issues throughout the country, low inventory, increasing prices. You're seeing with the rates being the way they are, a lot of people are reevaluating whether they should continue to rent. Sometimes especially in our market here, you're seeing rental amounts equaling a mortgage payment, and so it has driven our prices up. Um, our average price point probably a few years ago was probably like two thirties. You're seeing them probably creep up to about 270s, depending on where you are in the market. And Atlanta is very big. We're 17 counties, so you kind of have to look at the entirety of the data. But if you follow me or my business partner Helen's Instagram, or some of our social media stuff, we do talk about. We give you daily statistics on how competitive it could be. We usually publish how many actives, how many just came on the market, how many went pending, and how many have closed. And consistently, we're seeing the number of closings are exceeding the number of houses that are coming on the market or going under contract consistently. I think something like today, I think it was like 200 coming on the market, brand new. I think another 200 was sold. Oh, sorry, 200 went under contract, and like 500 was sold in the past 24 hours. So you are seeing the market becoming a little bit more tough. A lot of our first-time home buyers or step-up buyers are having to compete with multiple bids. They are definitely becoming, there's a sweet spot, right? So it's that sweet spot number that's becoming more and more competitive, and you're seeing prices driven up a lot for a good property. And you're still seeing houses that are either overpriced or that are not in great condition. They're still sitting on the market a lot longer. But it's getting to be pretty fierce. And it's interesting to see how everyone's talking. We should be. It should be a little bit of a slow season, right? So that's right. We should. We're supposed to see that cyclical. This is time to slow down, kind of recoup. Look at all your technology. Look at your plan your business plan for the next year, and kind of calm down a little bit. But I don't think we've been able to kind of breathe and kind of do that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this season and this December has been much busier than usual, right? I mean,
Yeah.
combination of people aren't traveling anywhere, combination of they value their home more. I think maybe the Christmas time will probably be slower because there's only gonna, I doubt there's going to be too much listings, period. But we never know. It's certainly been an interesting season so far. And so with the buyers that you typically see, what do you normally see as, like, are these just first time buyers? Are these typically investors as well? Is it a pretty balanced mix? Like, what do you think?
It's interesting because we are seeing. So it depends, again, the price point matter, right? So a lot of the clients that we work with in the luxury or the higher end markets, it hasn't slowed down. If anything, it has kind of picked back up. I think a lot of people who have licked their wounds from the market or have had some funds left out. If you had something and you got kicked during the summer months of COVID or whatever, you're seeing that coming back. You're seeing a lot of these houses coming back on the market. Again, it's still a very vibrant market. The lower end, what we call our step up market, or kind of our first time home buyer entry level market, we just don't have enough houses to sell. Builders here right now they're taking it. They're only building with the contract. They're not even doing spec homes anymore. Right. For instance, we had a builder that actually in the contract, it just says, the one thing the client requested was not to put red brick. That was the only request. Put any other color. But what did they do? They put up red brick. And the builder just said, sorry, we're in a hot market that take it or leave it. Yeah, we'll give you earnest money. You can walk away. So you're seeing a lot of investors as well, so we work with a lot of investors from out of state. So we actually are closing on a few this month and the beginning of next month for a lot of New Yorkers, people from Florida and from California who are seeing Georgia is a very landlord friendly state as well. So, you can pretty much kick a tenant out. It's a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. Within 30 to 60 days, if you miss one payment, you can take them to dispossessory court pretty much within 2 weeks. So because we're such a very landlord and seller friendly state, it has been very attractive for a lot of investors as well. The ROIs and returns are dependent on the client, right? But we do have to caution, there's a lot of caveats to that. But we are seeing a lot of out-of-state investors coming in, but we have to educate them and making sure that, again, the numbers work. They're not Georgia residents. You have to make sure that there's tax implications and stuff like that. But it is a good market for a lot of investors. It is a good market for a lot of our buyers, and it is a good market for a lot of our our luxury buyers too. I'm not going to say it's not a bad thing. I'm just going to say it's been very interesting to see the evolution of who's coming into this market and kind of coming to play.
Right, exactly. What is the typical time that a home stays on the market, as in it's priced fair and it's a good, a decent looking house, even if it's a good looking house, what's the norm that you would tell a buyer, hey, look, this is the standard process of the speed as to which you should act?
So again, it depends on the price point and if you price it right. For example, I'll tell you, we had a listing, it was average price point, and I ended up turning my cell phone off over the weekend, just because there was too many people calling, people were stealing keys. I mean, so, it was crazy. I can't deal with, try to have a weekend by myself, but, it depends. We do say typically if it's a good price, if it's priced right and it's a good home and it shows very well, it shouldn't take more than a week. And again, if you list it by Friday, you probably will have a contract by Monday. If you do list it during the week, you're probably going to get a contract within the next couple of days. So again, price points and how you stage it, how it looks. Helen and I, I know everyone's the same, and we spend a little bit more time up front trying to prep the house, making sure it shows very well instead of rushing it to the market first, because we know that sometimes if you rush it to the market, you might not be able to satisfy your clients' needs and what they really want or what the expectations that they had. So we kind of slowed things down a little bit on that end.
Got it. And what are your thoughts of what do you think will happen next year? I mean, so far it doesn't seem like there's a traditional winter slowdown. So
it doesn't.
I mean, what are your thoughts of what is likely to happen next year if just things just keep at what it is?
So Atlanta just came back out with studies that's saying that we're still going to be in a very vibrant market for the next at least for next year, because of the rates, because of the price points. Again, we're not in the our average price point is not the 5s or 6s or 7s, right? Our average price points are in the 2s. So because of that, we're still expected to have some steady growth. We are a very big MSA, a very big market, so we're going to probably see, a lot of our suburban markets grow. You're seeing a lot of people move to the north, northeast, south. Again, you're seeing that migration kind of coming away from the core of what we call Atlanta proper. You're kind of seeing everyone go to the suburbs a little bit. They want the green grass and and the chicken farm, whatever it is. So I think Atlanta is going to be pretty steady. From what we've been seeing and from what the economists are saying. And as long as the rates are pretty decent and as long as the demand is there in terms of job creation, we're seeing a lot of the Fortune 5s, again, relocating to Atlanta. We're seeing, a lot of people move from the gateway cities like San Francisco, LA, New York, Houston. You're seeing them kind of migrate to the south. And to the Midwest. You're seeing a lot of that as well. We do a lot of probably in November alone, we probably had more relocation clients coming from out of state, moving to Atlanta. So I think that's also a big reason why you're seeing that. Another big driver is we're seeing a lot of like our generation. Kind of coming back to Atlanta. So they go and get their jobs. They spend their 20s in New York and San Francisco and all the coal cities, the tech cities. And then they come back to have a family, to start a family, because the public school systems are pretty strong here. The prices are pretty decent here. So you're seeing a lot of that migration back to Atlanta, which is great to see. So we're, again, knock on wood, but I don't see our market changing dynamically. There may be some price corrections, and there may be some people with a little bit of heartaches, in terms of, how to sell houses and stuff like that. But at the core of it, I don't think the demand's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If truly people from San Francisco or New York are able to work remote and keep anywhere close to that salary, I mean,
yeah,
it makes it really interesting in the market like yours, where the average is $200,000 as an example, where that's such a small amount of their income, right?
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, these people can afford to buy in the Bay Area, which the average is 1.2, 1.3. Right. So it's going to be really interesting to see, what happens if that is truly the case and they want to relocate. Like, I think there's a lot of potential of prices being driven up much faster. We see like this situation happening like Sacramento, which is a good 2 hours away from here. But if people, the primary objective is to kind of get away and find a house, they're not going to probably want to also spend as much time looking for a house, especially given the price is not that much relative to their income. They're like, let's just get it done with. And hence they may be very aggressive, right? Who cares about appraising? They have plenty of income for it. So it might be even more of a catalyst, I think, than people may think.
Yeah, we're interesting because we work with a lot of California clients, and we do, the at the end of the day, the process is the same of buying a house, right? So, we call it, we're an attorney state, so we have to do everything through the attorney. You guys are a title state, so everything's handled to title. We have, a lot of our out-of-state clients are very surprised that we still put in due diligence. They're very surprised that, the real estate companies actually try to hold the earnest money because we try to determine who gets their earnest money back, right? They're surprised that we have financing contingencies and appraisal contingencies. And they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't the house appraise? The market's so hot. And we're like, well, it doesn't matter what you and I both think. At the end of the day, the bank will kind of, push us back a little bit. So yeah, it is a whole, we are seeing prices driven up, but we're also being kicked in the butt with appraisals. I mean, things are not appraising. It does not matter that the seller received 26 offers and they're all $20,000 over list or 15,000 over list. If it doesn't appraise, it doesn't appraise. So there is a little bit of, a lot of expectations that we have to provide back to our clients. Again, I think that you're right. A lot of our out-of-state clients are a little bit more aggressive, but there is a little bit of hesitation because they're always like, I'm not familiar with this market, but they tend to be a little bit more aggressive than some of our other clients, and so. But again, it's our job to kind of talk them through it and make sure that it is the price that it needs to be. But we tell everyone, hey, it's okay to lose a property. We'll find you something eventually. It's just, y'all are, a lot of our California people, they want something now. And you're like, no, we're Georgia. Like we work a little slower, a lot slower. We're just, we'll get you a contract out. I promise you, we'll get you a contract out within the next hour. But we have a little bit of a slower pace.
Just relax.
Just relax. Okay? We'll take care of you. We'll take care of you from start to finish. I promise. So they're like, oh, we're gonna give you the earnest money today. And I'm like, oh no, we don't need it today now. Like, for the contract, we don't need it for another 3 days. Just take your time. Wow. I don't want it right now. Like, I don't. It's just more paperwork. Like, no. So it's a good thing, right? So it is our life. It is yours and my. It's our livelihood at stake, and our job is to at the end of the day is to educate the clients and really help them making sure that it's a successful purchase. There's so many variables on how things could go wrong, and we have so me and Helen, we have this little home buyer's guide. It's about 40-50 pages, but basically we try to relate it back to a lot of our clients who've been through the process before. So we just call it different terms. So we're like, hey, you're very familiar with this. It's just we use different terms than what you may be used to. And so we ask our clients to go back to our little pamphlet that we provide and stuff like that, right? So I guess the way that I was taught is we were more of data dumpers. So our clients, as you've been in the real estate for a while, and I know that a lot of your audience members have as well. Real estate's evolved, right? So we used to control the data. We used to control. Sure. We were the gatekeepers of the MLS. So if you wanted to buy a house, you had to use a realtor. You had to use a real estate agent. But then obviously the data started getting released, and now I will tell you, most of our clients know more about the property than I do. Right. What we do now is making sure that we get the contract done correctly, making sure that we, get our partner lenders. Georgia is it is an as-is state. So making sure that you have all the contingencies in place, making sure that we do all the negotiations, making sure it's not overpriced, making sure you don't have these hurdles and bumps, right? Right. So they're looking to us as more of the market expert, not the person of the gatekeeper of finding you the home. Because again, me and my business partner Helen or my other team members will wake up to so many messages saying, I just found this. What do you think? What do you think of this property? Is it priced right? Was it good? They'll do the aerial maps. They'll do the Google Maps. I mean, they know more about that specific property than I would because we're giving them so much data. Right. And then we're doing data dumps on the client, and then we start narrowing things down with them. And I think that's kind of our role has shifted and evolved a little bit. It's not as simple as putting it on the MLS anymore and being wham bam, our job is done. Right. There's a lot of work involved, and I think that's kind of the evolution of what we've seen over the years.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the reality is, yeah, you're right. The clients have way more information than we would have, and we can't even logistically, be all these manual searches while they are doing on their own, which is fine, right? At the end of the day, our value of a modern realtor today is not on finding it per se. It's about the strategy. Is how do we win it, right? I mean, you're clearly not the only bidder. So absolutely. There's a lot of strategy. There's lots of relationships that are value add, and that's where we earn our money as Absolutely. Well, right? So full alignment there. And so, Tim, thank you so much for sharing your background and what's going on in the local market. It's certainly really interesting just across the country. If someone was looking to either move there or buy an investment property there, what are the best ways for them to kind of see what you're doing, but also get in touch with you?
Sure. You can go to our website. It's just www.metroatlanta.realestate. So trying to make it simple, or you can go to our website. It's pointhonors.com. pointhonors.com, but metroatlanta.realestate seems to work a lot for our clients. And you can find me on Instagram. Usually, it's a little easier. My Instagram handle is timhur, TIMHUR7. Like Ben-Hur, Tim-Hur, fictional white male character, but not related. But yeah, if you find me on Tim-Hur, you'll probably see me pretty active on there. And it's usually more business related because I do try to inform our clients. So if you follow my stories and stuff like that, you'll kind of see a little bit of that. And usually I'll tag my business partner Helen, and she's really good. And again, all we do is we do a lot of buyer consults and we do a lot of seller consults, and we're more than happy to do that. And we answer a lot of questions, and we'll give you our profile if need be, but it's best I'll send that to you later. But if you just Google me, Tim Hur, I'm pretty sure there's one way or another you'll be able to find me.
Nice, very nice. Well, thank you so much, Tim, and thank you everyone else for tuning in to another episode.
Absolutely.
I'll see you at the next one.
Thank you, guys. Bye, Spencer.